Yo, what's good, world family? It's your boy Unico Williams back with another episode of What's the Trend? Man, there's a lot going on because I'm pimping. I'm Scottie Pippen. And with that being said, with my homeboy Zell May, Lay Alpha, if you will. How you doing today?
You know how we do.
I know how we do.
We looking like Liza Pippen.
Not Liza.
We looking
Don't
cute.
sound like Liza.
We looking clean.
Of course we are looking.
We looking for sugar mama to take care of us, not sugar that we meant. We looking sexy. You know how we do, baby.
Either we looking sexy or we looking like sugar daddies. Which one is it?
Let me take my glass off for this.
Let me take my glasses off for this one too. Then let's talk about it. Let's be serious.
I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got it. You have to be serious for him. You got to tell him, I ain't got it. Don't call me. You got a YouTube channel. I ain't got it.
Yeah, we got a couple of topics to get into, but we do want to start with Scottie Pippen. Now, Scottie Pippen had a GQ interview the other day, and he had some words to say about Kevin Durant and his Game 7 performance. Most people would say he did the best that he could, but the thing is, he came up just a bit short. Honestly, he was so short that his foot was a little too long, and it was on the line. But he almost won that game. But with that being said, Pippen says that again that LeBron is a much better basketball player. So KD clapped back. That's what he does. KD, he's done with the fake pages. He's done with all that. He's out here coming as easy sniper. He's coming out here and letting y'all know how he feels on Twitter. So KD said, "Hey, wasn't you the guy that got in his feelings because they drew up the last play, the last shot of the game for somebody else who happened to be Kukoc. Correct? It was Tony Kukoc.
Either Kukoc or Steve Kerr. I can't remember which one.
It was Kukoc because they were trying to push him at the time, and he actually hit the shot. And KD said, "Yeah, man, they called a play for a better shooter than you, and you didn't even go in the game. And Kukoc still hit that shot. That is." And we didn't know about that until the last dance. We didn't know about that until the last dance. Jordan even put his boy on blast. Had nothing to do with the last dance, but it's all good. He put it out there. I gotta say that Pippen is right, but shout out to KD because he was right too.
Pippen, depending on what style of basketball you like, Pippen is right or wrong. There is no LeBron not a better scorer than KD, but LeBron is more of an all-around player. He's a pass first, get everybody involved, start balling, get his game going, freight train. KD is I can score anywhere I want, and he can. He's not the playmaker LeBron is, so if you want somebody to play make, he won't be that guy, but if you want somebody to get a bucket, he will. And if you play 50 minutes the way KD did and don't get out the game for 3 straight games and it just come from an inch of your foot, you'd be like, bro, if I was an inch back, you wouldn't even say this.
A whole new conversation because let's not forget that's a 48-49 point triple-double that he was looking at right there. So you can't say he wasn't doing everything else. He was being a good basketball player, but at the end of the day, we know that LeBron James is a better basketball player, but sometimes people are just better than you in some areas. Yeah. So So overall, also, what else happened with Pippen? Something else happened with Pippen.
He basically said Charles Barkley bullied some little white boys. He never seen him try to fight a black dude, and that he ain't tough because he just all talk on that TV. He'll hit somebody and he won't do it.
Woo.
He also said Doc Rivers set Ben Simmons up to fail. He just was going at everybody's neck because I guess Pippen's in his feelings. Twitter was.
Did you see his hair? Did you see Scottie Pippen's hair in that G? Like, why was Scottie Pippen, of all people, with that big old large nose and he tried to do the Jay-Z, how Jay-Z got his hair now, but he couldn't quite do it because I think he got that too fine of a hair kind of thing. Like, what if Matt Barnes tried to do what Jay-Z did with his hair? That's where we at with that. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with all that.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he might have looked good in what he was saying in GQ, but I don't think he looked good in GQ.
But yeah, basically, like I said, all he did basically was attack people, and KD clapped back. That's KD the one to clap back. He had a point about Doc Rivers in a way. He did. Charles Barkley, I don't know nothing about Charles Barkley, so I can't speak on that, but that's between them two.
So, that is between them two, but I know something that's between two other people. I know that there's a beef between Doc Rivers and Lay Alpha. I do know that.
Yeah,
I do know that. And so, you couldn't wait to see Doc Rivers slander. So I knew you went to the dollar store and bought a yellow highlighter, and you saw Doc Rivers and you put that in his. I'm gonna get right back to that.
I don't even hey, that was just Scottie Pippen was trending. I don't even think that's why you're trending, but I still put it in here.
I know you snuck. That was like a footnote in that whole big article. It was like 3 or 4 pages long, and you called on the Doc Rivers because that's what you do.
Yeah, gotta get Doc out of here, bro. It's time for the last to stop.
Quick question, and we'll move on. But quick question, I want to ask: is Doc Rivers committed to working with him all summer? Because he said he was.
He Biden ain't got a choice. I told y'all, bro. He got his future riding on this, bro. Because if he get rid of him, he ain't got no scapegoat. So
$200 million, they say
he ain't got Doc ain't got a scapegoat. He leave. Doc gonna be like, hey, I can fix it. And then I'm gonna blame him next year. We don't win again.
and that's fair. Anything else on that GQ article with Scottie Pippen?
And then that's just. Scottie, you see, I saw a lot of people on Twitter say you're unhappy with your situation in your family life and all that. So, prayers to you about that.
Hey, let's lift Scottie Pippen up in prayers.
Yeah. So
these young cats is taking his woman away from him, and they hold hands in public, and they not even apologizing. And Scottie Pippen. He averaged 22 points a game, and was third in MVP voting in that year that he was upset that Tony Kukoc got the last shot.
And by the way, that's
what I got on that.
And let's talk about he also stated that LeBron doesn't have help, which set the internet off again because again people seem to love to disrespect Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, they seem to love to disrespect them to raise LeBron up. And I'm like, LeBron is literally a top 2 player ever in history. He doesn't need you to take someone's shine off of them to raise them up. And that might be a reason Kyrie didn't want to play with him no more. It might be a reason some people don't want to play with him no more because no matter what I do, I will always be second fiddle. And that's probably the problem KD had playing with Steph Curry. So... Some people you're gonna always be disrespected with, and KD was like, I'm the best player on this team, and I'm still not the man in Golden State. Everybody said it's Curry team because Curry the one who led them to the first 2 finals and won the first one they ever did. So
rightfully so. But before you get into the NBA, you got to go to the NCAA. You got to go play college ball. Now, obviously, there's plenty of organizations at this point where they're paying these kids coming out of high school. We got a new G League coming out. They got that new league, the Rising, whatever. They got that going on so people can make $500,000 fresh off of the graduation stage. That's a beautiful thing. But the NCAA just took an L. My bad. I apologize. My dogs is involved in something that probably ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And if we could just comfort them real quick and, just tell them everything is all right, everything will be all right. No, we ain't not going to get no help. That's cool. So at any rate, so you got to go to college first. You got to go to college. So you go to college and they tell you this is the most you can get, free class. Now, NCAA has gone to the Supreme Court. They've gone everywhere they can, trying to maintain some kind of control. And they decided that the Supreme Court said, no, we're not doing this. You can't just be holding back on stuff. If you're going to help these kids' education, help these kids' education. So that involves them having to pay for internships and overseas, learning overseas and things like that. So I think that's a big victory, but they still can't get paid for their own autographs. But I think that's on the way. What you think about that?
Brett Kavanaugh said this is the most illegal business he has ever seen.
100% he said that.
He said this is the only place where you actually made up a term yourself. NCAA made up the term amateurism.
Amateur.
The NCAA is the first one to use it and use it as a reason not to pay them. And he actually said back then it made sense because they wasn't making any money off of them. But now every one of your coaches make $10 million, $20 million, and they can't get paid anything. That's the most. That is the most illegal thing. That's the most antitrust law thing there ever was, to make money off someone without actually having to pay them for their service, or even allowing them to make money because it's against the rules for them to have a job to make money for themselves, which is insane.
I gotta ask you, when was the last time that you saw people work for free? When was that?
Sharecropping.
When was that?
Which was in the 60s. I know a lot of y'all wanted me to say slavery. No, because you're gonna make the excuse. Slavery was hundreds of years ago. Sharecropping, my daddy was a sharecropper in 1970. It ended in like 1971. Sharecropping officially.
If you pick enough cotton, what happens?
Yes. I don't know. They tell my daddy he owed them $2 after he picked all of it for you. He got the check, bro. We had the check. $2. That's how much you owe us for you picking our cotton.
Man, y'all go look up sharecropping when y'all get a chance, man, because
Jim
we
Crow
always stick on
in the South.
We always land on slavery, but there was a whole bunch of other crazy, wild stuff that was done to black people. Like let's not forget. Don't get me started. All I'm saying is this: there was a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Like even after slavery, they used to go and be like, "Hey, you can still stay on our land if you work for us." So you'll still have a home. You know what I'm saying? So because you didn't have money fresh off of slavery, so what do? You stay on you stay where you was at because they said you could stay if you work. So with that being said, that's what's cracking. Anything else on NCAA, brother?
That's it. Hopefully I'm the way they were talking to the NCAA officials. Oh, the players gonna better get paid soon, even if it's not directly from the school. They'll at least be paid off their likeness. So that's looking like it's coming because they lit into them. And Kavanaugh was the only one. He was the main one. He the one who wrote a whole book about him. The rest of them said some similar things. So I don't think they got a shot because he came in like, yo, this is the most illegal thing I've ever heard in my life.
Shout out to NCAA Football 2014 on Xbox and PlayStation 3. That was the last college football game we got. It was a lot of dope cats on there. And they had to stop doing that because people was like, hey, we're making y'all too much money. Because best believe I used to buy the NCAA games just to play as a Mike Vick, just to play as a Troy Smith, just to play as Randy Moss back in the day. You know, we used to buy those games to play as them. So shout out to them making
Pat
that
White,
movement.
Steve Slayton, West Virginia. Pat McAfee.
Shout out to let's shout out Pat White before we shout out anybody else. But 100%, man.
Pat White, bro. Pat White, Steve Slayton, Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee with a punter. He had an arm with 87. I'm like, why does this punter got an 87 on?
It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
Throw power 87. I'm like, Pat McAfee was lit on nigga. I don't know what was going on. I made him to back up to Steve Slayton. I mean, not Steve Slayton, Pat White, Steve Slayton. That whole group was amazing.
Man, they're putting up like 55 a game.
They were.
But I asked before we get into some more pressing news. Let's talk about some ridiculousness. So UFOs, what the hell? So there's a lot of cases of UFOs, but go ahead, Zelmay.
Apparently, they have found 144 unidentified aerial objects, UAOs. Because
that's a new term for y'all.
Yeah,
that's a new term.
They don't want to call it UFOs because they don't know if it's interterrestrial or what. They found they can't explain 143 of them, but they said one of them was a broken balloon that burst in the sky that flew around in a circle, and they didn't know what it was, and they found it. But that's the only one they could identify. Other than that, they say they have no clue. So basically, they hyped us up for a year just to tell us we don't know.
What are your thoughts? Because I believe that there is life out there. There has to be. We're not that important in the universe that we're just the only things existing in this whole big universe. I don't believe that. But I don't know. I'm not quite sure. What's your thoughts on that?
La Alpha is the center of the universe.
Okay. See, we had to go there.
And the Alpha thing.
Why don't you add that to your intro instead of just saying looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy? Put I'm the center of the universe and then go on to the why. I'm not spending the first 15 minutes doing that. I'm not doing that.
The aliens want to figure me out, so they study me. I study them too, so they are real. I'm letting y'all know that.
Just want y'all to know that there was an episode of South Park where it was literally called Cartman Gets a Butt Probe. Zell May gets a butt probe. So let's keep it moving.
I went to school of Floyd Mayweather. Dodge.
No doubt. So we'll keep our eye on the UFO thing, man. But we got a couple
Beam
of
me up, Scotty.
Beam something up. Before we get out of here, just a couple of things we want to give our thoughts and prayers to. 100%, man. Miami, there was just a random building that's 40 years old. Apparently, it collapsed. The middle of it collapsed. So not the whole building, but people just woke up in the middle of the night at 1:30 in the morning, falling to their deaths, being what do you say, buried in rubble. And then people was walking outside their doors the next day or during that situation and was seeing that there was just their next door neighbor's door, but the apartment was gone. I just want to give my thoughts and prayers out to them. I don't want to sound like a president or any government official when I say that. I mean that nobody asked for that. It was a freak accident, if you ask me, but that could be something because they say God don't make no mistakes. But definitely, I hope that wakes up the state of Florida. Make sure that y'all building regulations is up to par because I heard that was something they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be making sure everything was good. But when you live by the sea, sometimes some things happen to your structures. But with that being said, y'all be careful and look up where y'all about to live at, man, before y'all go moving there because you never know, something tragic might happen. But my thoughts and prayers and my love go down there to them folk down there in Miami. Much love, and all my prayer. Zelman.
Yeah, they said 159 people was supposed to be. They have not heard from them. 99 people have been confirmed was supposed to be there. 4 have passed away. They having issues with fire sparking up. So the first responders, God bless them, they are having trouble getting in there in some cases. They are Joe Biden is in FEMA, said they got the full support. DeSantis then said the same thing. So everybody working together in tragedy to try to figure this situation out. Don't matter what you are, everybody trying to figure it out and I heard this year was supposed to be beginning their 40-year inspection, make sure everything was right. So they started on the roof. According to the security video, looked like the middle came out and the north side fell down. So I hope they find as many people as possible. Prayers out to anybody's family out there, anybody in that situation. We don't wish that upon nobody. That is tragic.
Facts.
I hope they can find. I hope many people wasn't there that night because I know they said only 99. Hopefully, if 60 of them. Hopefully, maybe they weren't in that building, so they don't have to deal with it. And the other 99, I hope they find them. I heard they heard noise this morning, so hopefully that's a good sign.
Absolutely. So again, from overall 99 ENT, we got our love. We spreading everything we can. If it can help, we spreading it to y'all right here, right now, down there in Miami, man. Much love. And our final topic today, also Dereck Chauvin. We all know him as the man that murdered George Floyd. I don't know if you're allowed to say that on YouTube. Who gives a shit? Today we're going to talk about it. 100%. Dereck Chauvin was given a 22.5-year sentence. The quickest he can be out is in 15 years. He'll be eligible for probation and also not probation, but parole. And then he'll also be able to, if he's on good behavior, do 2/3 of his time, which would make it about 15 years. Some people believe that justice has been served because they say for his particular crime, the guideline was 12 to 15 years is what you're supposed to get. But Judge Cahill, shout out to him, he handled this whole situation beautifully and professionally. We got to say that. We got to give him big ups for that. But he did enhance the sentence because Dereck Chauvin was somebody that was trusted. He was a what do you call it? A public servant. And he was somebody in a position where you're supposed to feel like you're in good hands when you're with that person, even when you are being arrested. So shout out to Judge Cahill for doing that. He wrote a 22-page, coincidentally, about the legal basis behind him giving that amount of time. So again, he handled this whole situation beautifully. He did the enhancements. He said he did without sympathy for either side. He did it strictly legally. But some people are saying he should have gotten that 30 years. But it's not quite over yet. Dereck Chauvin still has a couple more trials, and he will take this up to the federal part of things. So he may do like 2 or 3 more years, and here we are back watching him in the courtroom. But for now, quote unquote, justice has been served. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, the maximum sentence is usually for his crime 40, but due to legalities, it's usually 30. It's the maximum he can give due to certain situations, not police related, just regular. When you do second degree. So normally it's anywhere between parole to 30. So basically, he got 22 and a half, as Unico said. It's usually 12 to 15. He held him to a higher standard. He was going for straight parole. It's time served. Get it over with. The judge said, no, you a public servant. This incident not only hurt the Floyd family, but hurt policing in America. And it hurted the relationship between, which is already thin as it can get, between African American community and the police. Because if you live in the hood, you understand that relationship is not good at all. It's really not. Most people don't understand that because, again, you don't live in that area. So you just assume that the police is like towards you everywhere. But no, when you live in the hood, the police they get more abusive with you because, that life and situations and racisms, and also beliefs that people are animals and less than, so obviously not treat you less than, unlike some rich kid from somewhere else. So
big facts, man. So definitely everybody hurt. I'm sure even Dereck Chauvin's family was hurt behind this. Obviously the Floyd family, they were hurt behind this. The whole world had to sit there and watch that man die in front of us just a day later. I'll never forget what I was doing. I was at work and I looked on Twitter and there was a 10-minute video, and I was deeply saddened by it. But y'all know the deal. Go back on my episodes on Do You Hear Me with Unico Williams. I covered the whole trial. I covered everything. And so go back to see how we led up to this point. We may have a special coming up, but hey, who knows? We do what we want to, because overall, 99 ENT, you can catch us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. You can catch us everywhere. It's your boy Unico Williams. Look for me everywhere. Do you hear me with Unico Williams? Also, we got Zelmay. Zelmay has Zelmay theories, and those are very good. I love it. It's one of my favorite videos to watch, because we get a little bit deeper, because we go through these trending topics and whatnot. We go a little bit quicker on these, but we have in-depth videos. So if you want to see those in-depth videos about how we feel, there is a very what do I want to say here? I won't say cuss word related, but I feel like if Alpha wanted to really cuss, he would have, because it's YouTube laws. But there's a Doc Rivers series out there somewhere to go look at. So make sure y'all do that. AKA also are you going to watch the journey of Doc Rivers and Ben Simmons over this summer? Are you going to watch that with a magnifying glass? Is he going to ruin Ben Simmons? That's my last topic, just to ask you.
I'm intrigued by it. That's all I can say. I am very intrigued.
Y'all getting a tame man right here, because this dude does not like Doc Rivers.
Hey, bro.
So
it ain't that I don't like him. It just y'all lie to me about him every year. And by the way, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into it. Me and Trey will have a Zell Theory special this Tuesday. Be looking out for that. This is a What's the Trend special on Saturday, where we talk about the media and should we trust them. That will be on my Zell Theory with Trail. It will be actually on this page. I want it on here because I want to discuss it. Me and Unico got a great one Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that, where we talk about white guilt. So all our white audience, I want to see if you fall on one of these sides. I'm very interested. So that's going to be a very fun one. And then, What's New 99 Sports will be back Monday. What's the Trend will be back next Friday. Instead of Saturday, this is a special, but we'll be back Friday. Do You Hear Me is out now. So go look at the last Friday.
Pretty much, yep. So that's what I got. This what I got overall 99 ENT. You know how we do, man. Make sure y'all follow us on everything. Hit that like, subscribe. Make sure y'all share with your friends because they want to see how I'm looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. Now they just over here, y'all all they do is come on here and go look at Zelmay. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. But let me get some of my just due as well. But that's all I got. Zelmay, last thoughts.
Remember, if you haven't seen Reggie Jackson after coming up getting trashed all last year, you see Chris Middleton getting trashed all year. All these players, Giannis, Paul George, all getting trashed last year. You see Ben Simmons getting trashed right now. All I'm gonna tell Ben, I'm gonna tell you to keep stopping. Why? Because maybe Reggie Jackson might be the MVP of the Clippers this year and saving everybody's legacy. Because you never know. Your time might come.
Or you might be down 63 to 103.
Yes, and 40-point lead. And something amazing could happen.
Peace.